business. Now, I've got Sanjay Chandra here. He's the head of Unitech, which is the second largest property company here in India. And what I want to ask you, Mr. Chandra, is are you concerned about property bubbles here in India? Because that's what people outside India are looking at.
I think India is a very vast country where every region of India is reacting differently to the flows of capital. So certain markets, and within the markets, micro markets are getting heated up. Like certain parts of Mumbai are very expensive, while the rest of the country is still at actually very affordable levels.
So basically property bubbles, if there is anything going on, it's just in Mumbai and maybe parts of Delhi?
Only in the primer parts of Delhi where there's not enough supply coming. I think one of the challenges in our country is these few economic centers don't have much of new supply coming up in the primer parts, and everyone wants to be in the center, while these cities are also expanding. So if you go beyond the central Delhi to the suburbs of Delhi, like Gurgaon and Noida, there's still affordable housing.
Well, let me talk about your own business to Unitech now. I mean, since 2008, you've doubled your order book. Now, what's been driving that growth?
I think in the past, developers like us had a mindset of maximizing our revenues per acre of land which we had. So we were concentrating on a smaller segment of the market, which was the premium housing or premium offices. We had totally ignored the real middle class of India, which is large, which is having very large wage increases. Average Indian salaries increased by 15% a year. So we were really not targeting that end of the market. Once we started doing that, we saw numbers which were just incredible.
And you're talking about the middle class market. What about moving further down the value chain? I mean, everyone's talking about inclusive India at the moment.
I think that's something which is a huge potential, but has a lot of fundamental challenges right now, primarily related to land. Land costs are very high in India. Most of the state governments also, while they do have a social objective, they end up actually wanting to maximize their revenues by auctioning out properties, which become really unaffordable for the consumer.
I want to come back and ask you just something current in the news at the moment. We have had the resignation of the telecommunications minister today, over some irregularities to do with the auction of some licenses. You were one of the purchasers of the licenses. Are you concerned going forward about the future of those licenses?
I think we're not concerned about the future of the licenses. We followed all the norms of law and are operating today with substantial amount of customers. And we do have a viable rail business happening.
Okay. Mr. Chandra, thank you very much for speaking to us.